The bullet was already in the air when Daniel Reed moved. 3 seconds. That's all it took for a single father with $17 in his pocket to save a woman worth $9 billion. But here's what nobody knew. That rainy Chicago afternoon, the broke dad cleaning tables wasn't just some nobody. He was a ghost with a body count that would make your blood run cold. And the woman he saved, she was about to pull him back into the one world he swore he'd never touch again. Hit that subscribe button right now because this story gets darker than you can imagine. Drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from so I can see how far this story travels. Trust me, you'll want to see how this ends. I've killed 37 men and you won't be number 38 if you walk away right now. Those words would come later, in a church, with smoke and blood and the sound of his daughters screaming his name. But on that Tuesday afternoon in April, Daniel Reed was just trying to make it to payday without the lights getting shut off. The Riverside Cafe smelled like burnt coffee and wet jackets. Daniel had been wiping down table 14 for 5 minutes, killing time watching the rain come down so hard it looked like the sky was punishing the city for something. His shift ended at 3. 3 o'clock meant he could pick up Lily from St. Anne's Walk, the 6 blocks home, because the bus cost $2.50 he didn't have, and figure out how to make 1 box of mac and cheese, feed them both for dinner. Again. Excuse me, coffee. The woman at table 7 hadn't looked up from her laptop once in 40 minutes. Designer everything, hair that didn't move, the kind of person who said, "Excuse me," like she was doing you a favor by acknowledging your existence. Right away, ma'am. Daniel grabbed the pot, headed over. He'd learned not to make eye contact with customers like her. Rich people slumming it in dive cafes always wanted to feel something real, something gritty, but they didn't actually want to see you. You were part of the aesthetic. Like exposed brick or Edison bulbs. He poured. She didn't look up. That's when Daniel saw the kid through the window. 19, maybe 20. Ski jacket too big for him, soaked through. Hands in his pockets, but walking wrong. Stiff, tense. Daniel's body recognized it before his brain did. That walk, that energy. He'd seen it in Kabul, in Mogadishu, in a dozen places that didn't exist on any official record. The kid pushed through the door. Water dripped off him onto the tile. His eyes swept the cafe once, twice, then locked onto table 7. The woman with the laptop. Daniel set down the coffee pot very carefully. The kid's hand came out of his jacket, gun, 9mm, shaking. Nobody move. His voice cracked on the second word. Nobody fucking move. 6 customers, 2 staff. 1 amateur with a loaded weapon and a suicide wish. Daniel's brain did the math in half a heartbeat. Angles, distances, sight lines. The kid's finger was on the trigger, all wrong, dangerous. 1 wrong move and somebody died. Maybe everybody. The woman at table 7 looked up for the first time. You! The kid pointed the gun at her face. You're Claire Donovan. I know who you are. Donovan Tech, Forbes magazine, $9 billion while my mom couldn't afford her insulin. Claire Donovan. Daniel knew the name. Everyone knew the name. Youngest self-made female billionaire. Tech genius. On the cover of Time magazine last month with some headline about disrupting healthcare. She looked smaller in person. Scared. I understand you're upset, Claire said. Her voice didn't shake. It should have. Put the gun down and we can talk about your mother. I want to help. Help? The kid laughed. Wild. Broken. You people don't help. You take. My mom died last Tuesday. Died because her insurance denied her medication. Denied by one of your fucking algorithms. The gun was shaking harder now. 3 other customers were crying. The barista had her phone out, probably calling 911. Daniel calculated the distance. 12 feet, 4 steps if he moved fast. But the kid was unstable, finger on the trigger, and Claire Donovan was right in the line of fire. Daniel moved. 4 steps became 3, became 2. His body remembered what his mind had tried to forget. Muscle memory from a life he'd buried under dirty aprons and double shifts and pretending to be normal. He grabbed the kid's wrist, twisted up and back pressure on the nerve cluster. The gun fell. Daniel had the kid face down on the tile before anyone could scream. 2.3 seconds. Start to finish. Don't move. Daniel's voice was quiet, calm, the voice he'd used when he was someone else. Just breathe. Nobody's going to hurt you. The kid sobbed into the floor. Daniel held him there, gentle but absolute, until the sirens came. When the police burst in, Daniel stepped back, let them take over, started cleaning up the spilled coffee like nothing had happened. "Sir, we need a statement." The cop was young, eager, probably his first armed robbery. "I grabbed him, that's it." Daniel glanced at the clock. 2:58. "Can I go? I have to get my daughter." "We need your information first. Name, address, phone number." Daniel rattled it off while watching the paramedics check the kid for injuries. The boy was still crying, just a kid, 19 years old and his whole life already over. Daniel knew that feeling. "Mr. Reed." Claire Donovan was standing next to him. Up close, she was younger than he'd thought, maybe 35. Green eyes that actually focused on his face instead of looking through him. "Thank you," she said. "You saved my life. Anyone would have done the same. But they didn't. You did." She held out a business card. Thick, expensive. "Let me take you to dinner to say thank you properly." Daniel looked at the card without taking it. Claire Donovan, CEO, Donovan Technologies. A phone number, an address in a part of the city where he'd never belong. "I appreciate it, but I'm good." "I insist." "Ma'am," Daniel pulled on his jacket, the one with the broken zipper. "I've got a 9-year-old daughter waiting for me at school. I've got bills I can't pay and a fridge that's basically empty. I don't have time for thank you dinners." He walked out before she could respond. The rain had gotten worse. Daniel stood at the bus stop, water soaking through his shoes, the ones with holes in the soles he'd been meaning to fix for 6 months. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. "Yeah, Reed." The voice hit him like a fist, gravel and whiskey and bad memories. "It's Kozak." Daniel's blood went cold. Marcus Kozak, former commander, current ghost. The man who'd gotten him out 5 years ago, who'd pulled strings and called in favors, and made Daniel Reed disappear from every database that mattered. "I'm out," Daniel said. "I know you're out. I just watched you on the news. Local hero saves CEO in café robbery. Very dramatic, very you. What do you want? Can't an old friend call to congratulate you? We're not friends." "No," Kozak agreed. "We're not, but I'm calling anyway. Word of advice, Reed. That woman you saved, Claire Donovan, she's got real problems, the kind we used to handle, so watch your back." "I'm not." The line went dead. Daniel stared at his phone, wanted to throw it into traffic, wanted to go back 5 minutes and not answer, wanted to go back 5 years and make different choices. The bus came. He got on. Lily was waiting outside St. Anne's, pink backpack almost bigger than she was, standing under the awning with 3 other kids whose parents were late. When she saw him, her whole face lit up. "Daddy!" She ran through the puddle, sneakers soaked instantly, and jumped into his arms. Daniel caught her, ignored the sharp pain in his back, held her tight. "Guess what? I got an A on my spelling test. Mrs. Patterson said I was the only one who got necessary right. That's my smart girl." Daniel set her down, took her hand. "I'm so proud of you. Can we get ice cream to celebrate?" Daniel thought about the $17 in his wallet, thought about the bus fare home, thought about the electric bill that was 2 weeks overdue. "How about we make sundaes at home? We can use that chocolate syrup you like." "Okay." Lily didn't know that chocolate syrup was 50 cents at the dollar store and ice cream from the shop was $5 a scoop. She didn't know her shoes had holes in them, or that Daddy slept on the couch because they couldn't afford a 2-bedroom. She was 9. She still thought Daddy could fix anything. They took the bus home, Lily talking non-stop about her day, while Daniel watched faces, looking for threats that probably weren't there. Probably. The apartment building was 4 floors, no elevator. Hadn't worked in 18 months. Daniel carried Lily piggyback up the stairs, her laughter echoing off the stained concrete walls. Mrs. Chen was in the hallway struggling with her grocery bags. 84-years-old husband dead, 3 years too proud to ask for help, but too weak to carry it all herself. "Let me get that, Mrs. Chen." "Oh, Daniel, you're such a good boy." She patted his cheek with a papery hand. "And little Lily, how was school?" "I got an A, Mrs. Chen." "Of course you did. Smart like your mama." The words hit Daniel in the chest. Sarah. 3 years gone, and sometimes he still reached for her side of the bed in the morning. He carried Mrs. Chen's groceries inside, made sure she was settled, then headed to his own door. 3 locks, police bar. He'd installed them all himself. The apartment was small. Lily's bedroom was barely big enough for her twin bed and the dresser from Goodwill. Daniel slept on the couch that had come with the place. The kitchen was the size of a closet, but it was clean, and it was theirs, and that had to be enough. "Homework first, then Sundays," Daniel said. Lily groaned but pulled out her workbook. Daniel heated up the leftover chicken from yesterday. 1 breast shredded stretched across 3 meals. He'd gotten good at making nothing look like something. His phone buzzed again. Different number. "Mr. Reed, this is Sarah Kim. I'm Ms. Donovan's executive assistant. She would very much like to thank you properly for this afternoon. Would you be available for dinner tomorrow evening?" I already said no. Ms. Donovan can be quite persistent when she wants something. So can I. There was a pause. Then, "She's authorized me to offer you $5,000 for 1 hour of your time. Just dinner, just conversation." Daniel's hand tightened on the phone. $5,000. That was 3 months' rent. That was winter coats and new shoes for Lily, and maybe getting the car fixed so he didn't have to bus in the rain anymore. "Why?" Daniel asked. "Why does she care? You saved her life, Mr. Reed. She wants to understand who you are." That was the last thing Daniel wanted. He'd worked too hard to become nobody, to erase the man he'd been, the man who'd done things in the dark that would make regular people sick. But $5,000. 1 hour, Daniel said. "That's it. Perfect. A car will pick you up at 7:30 tomorrow evening." She hung up before he could change his mind. "Daddy," Lily looked up from her homework. "Who was that?" "Just work, sweetheart. I have to go to a meeting tomorrow night. Mrs. Chen's going to watch you." "Okay." Lily went back to her math problems, trusting him completely, like kids do. Daniel looked at his daughter and felt the weight of every choice he'd ever made pressing down on his chest. He'd killed men to protect people like her, killed them quietly, efficiently, without hesitation or regret. Then he'd come home and tried to be normal, tried to be good, but normal didn't pay the bills. That night after Lily was asleep, Daniel stood in the shower and let the lukewarm water run over him until it went cold. He thought about Sarah, about the hospital, about holding her hand while she died and promising her he'd take care of their baby girl no matter what. He was failing. $17 in his wallet, $93 in the bank, rent due in 5 days. He was failing and he knew it, and there wasn't a damn thing he could do about it. The next evening, Daniel stood in front of the bathroom mirror in his only suit, bought for Sarah's funeral, worn twice since. It hung on him now. He'd lost weight. "You look fancy, Daddy." Lily spun around in her pajamas. "Is this a date?" "It's work." "You're wearing your fancy suit for work." "It's a fancy kind of work." At 7:30, a black Mercedes pulled up outside. Daniel watched from the window. The building superintendent, Tommy, was outside smoking and nearly dropped his cigarette. "Be good for Mrs. Chen," Daniel said, kissing Lily's forehead. "I'm always good." Mrs. Chen opened her door as he walked past. Her eyes went wide at the car outside. "Daniel, is that for you?" "It's just work, Mrs. Chen." "In a Mercedes." She grabbed his arm. "Be careful. Rich people, they want things from regular people. They take and take." "I'll be careful." The driver didn't speak the whole way downtown. Daniel watched the city change outside the window. His neighborhood with its boarded-up shops and chain-link fences giving way to glass towers and restaurants with waiting lists. The restaurant didn't have a sign, just a number on a black door. Inside it was all dark wood and soft lighting and menus without prices. Claire Donovan was already seated, navy dress, hair perfect, but her eyes had dark circles under them that makeup couldn't quite hide. "Mr. Reed, thank you for coming." "It's Daniel." He sat down uncomfortable in his own skin. "And you paid me $5,000 to be here, so thanks isn't necessary." "Fair enough." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Can I at least buy you dinner?" A waiter appeared, rattled off specials in French. Daniel ordered the first thing that sounded like real food. Claire ordered wine that probably cost more than his monthly grocery budget. "You're not what I expected," Claire said when they were alone. "What did you expect?" "I don't know. Someone who wanted something. Everyone wants something from me. I just want to get home to my daughter." "How old?" "9. I have a daughter too. Sophia. She's 8. Claire's whole face softened. Being a parent is the most terrifying thing in the world, isn't it? Knowing you're completely responsible for this entire person and you're going to screw it up somehow. Every single day, they talked about their daughters, about the weight of raising kids alone. Claire's divorce had been finalized last year. Her ex-husband Richard was CFO of Nexus Corp, her biggest competitor. The custody battle had gotten ugly. He told the judge, "I cared more about my company than my own child," Claire said quietly. Said Sophia needed stability. This from a man who was sleeping with his secretary while I was on bed rest with our daughter. "Did you win?" "I have better lawyers, so yes. But Sophia still asks why Daddy doesn't live with us anymore, and Claire's voice cracked. "I don't know what to tell her. The truth is too ugly." Daniel understood. Lily asked about Sarah sometimes. Asked if Mommy was happy in heaven. Asked if it hurt when she died. Daniel lied every time. Told her it was peaceful. Told her Mommy wasn't scared. Told her everything she needed to hear instead of the truth, which was that Sarah had been terrified and in agony, and it had taken 3 days. The food arrived. Daniel had forgotten what good food tasted like, but he couldn't enjoy it. He felt like a fraud in his funeral suit, pretending he belonged in a place like this. "Can I ask you something?" Claire leaned forward. "Where did you learn to move like that?" "In the café." "Military." "What branch?" "Army." "Doing what?" "This and that." Daniel cut his steak. "I got out 5 years ago." "This and that." Claire studied him with those sharp green eyes. "My head of security reviewed the cafe footage. Former FBI, very good at his job. He said what you did was surgical, not just military training, special operations." Daniel put down his fork. "I don't talk about my service. I'm not asking you to. I'm trying to understand the man who saved my life." "There's nothing to understand. I saw someone in danger. I helped, that's all." "Is it?" Claire pulled out her phone. "Because I had you checked out. Daniel Reed, former Army, 5 years at Donovan Security Contractors, and then nothing. Everything else is classified, sealed at a level that requires congressional approval. You investigated me." Daniel's voice went flat. "Dangerous. I'm a CEO worth $9 billion who someone just tried to shoot in a public cafe. Yes, I investigated you." "Then you know enough." "I know nothing. Classified means your entire military record was buried. That doesn't happen to regular soldiers. I'm not having this conversation." Daniel stood up. "Wait, please." Claire raised a hand. "I'm sorry. That was invasive and paranoid, and I shouldn't have. You think I'm not used to not knowing things. It makes me uncomfortable." She gestured to his chair. "Please, sit. I'll stop prying. Just finish dinner." Daniel hesitated. He should leave. Walk out. Go home to Lily and forget about $5,000 and billion-dollar CEOs with secrets. But he saw something in Claire's eyes. something he recognized. Fear. He sat down. "Are you in danger?" Daniel asked quietly. Claire's composure cracked, just for a second. "Why would you ask that?" "Because you don't investigate random cafe heroes unless you're scared." "What's going on?" Claire was silent for a long moment. Then she pulled out her phone again, showed him a text message. "You survived the cafe. You won't survive what comes next." Unknown number, timestamp 6:47 p.m. today. "There have been others," Claire said. Her hands were shaking now. "Emails, photos of Sophia at school. Someone's been following me. Last week a car tried to run me off the road on Lakeshore Drive. Police, they think it's a disgruntled investor or some activist group. They've increased patrols around my house, but that's all." She looked at him. "I'm being hunted, and I don't know by who or why." Daniel looked at the message again. Professional wording, calm, calculated. This wasn't some angry kid with a gun. This was someone serious. "I'll ask again," Claire said. "Where did you learn to move like that?" Daniel met her eyes. "Places I can't talk about, doing things you don't want to know. But you could do them again if you had to. I'm out of that life. What if that life is coming for me?" Daniel handed back her phone. "You need a professional security team, full detail, safe rooms, counter surveillance. I can give you names." "I have all that. It's not enough." Claire's voice dropped. "I saw your face in that cafe, Daniel. You weren't scared. You weren't even surprised. You were ready. Like you've been waiting for something bad to happen your whole life." She was right. He had been waiting. Even now, even in this quiet restaurant, part of him was scanning exits, counting civilians, calculating how fast he could get Claire to safety if someone came through that door. "I have a daughter to think about," Daniel said. "I can't go back." "I'm not asking you to go back. I'm asking for help. Just tell me if I'm being paranoid or if I should be terrified." "You should be terrified." Claire went pale. "That text message is professional work." Daniel continued. "The cafe attempt was probably a test. See your security response, see who gets involved, map your patterns. The real attack hasn't happened yet." "Oh God, Sophia. Where is she right now?" "Home, with my nanny and 2 security guards." "Call them." Claire's hands shook as she dialed. The conversation was short. When she hung up, she looked only slightly better. "They're fine. Everything's fine." "Good." Daniel checked his watch. "I need to get home. I'll pay you." The words came fast now, desperate. $1 million. Just help me figure out who's doing this." $1 million. Daniel's brain stuttered. That was Lily's college fund. That was a real apartment. That was security for the next 10 years. But it was also a door reopening, a door he'd nailed shut for good reasons. "I can't," Daniel said. "Please." Claire reached across the table, grabbed his hand. "I'm not asking as a CEO. I'm asking as a mother who's terrified someone's going to hurt her little girl. You understand that fear. I know you do." Daniel pulled his hand back gently. "I understand, but I can't help you." He stood up, put 2 20s on the table even though she'd already paid for everything. "Keep the 5,000, Claire called after him. "You earned it." Daniel walked out into the Chicago night. His heart was hammering. The Mercedes was waiting, but he waved it off, started walking. He needed to think, needed to not think, needed to forget the look in Claire Donovan's eyes when she said, "My little girl." His phone rang. Lily's ringtone. "Hey, sweetheart, what's wrong? You should be asleep." "Daddy," her voice was small, scared. "There's a man outside our building. Mrs. Chen saw him. He's been standing there for a long time, and she's scared, and I'm scared. And when are you coming home?" Daniel was already running. Daniel ran 6 blocks in 4 minutes. His lungs burned. His dress shoes weren't made for running, but he didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Every second was Lily alone and scared, and someone outside their building watching. He hit the corner of Ashland and Monroe doing 15 miles an hour, nearly got clipped by a taxi, kept running. His phone was pressed to his ear. Lily, listen to me. Stay with Mrs. Chen. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone except me. You understand? Okay, Daddy. Her voice was so small, but I'm scared. I know, baby. I'm almost there. 2 minutes. He hung up, dialed Mrs. Chen. Daniel. Her voice shook. There's a man. Black coat. He's just standing there across the street looking up at our building. I called the police, but they said they'd send someone when they could. Keep Lily inside, I'm coming. Daniel rounded the last corner, saw his building, saw the man, black coat, 30s, standing under a broken streetlight, hands in his pockets, staring up at the 4th floor, at Daniel's window. Daniel slowed to a walk, controlled his breathing, approached from behind, silent, every muscle ready. 10 feet away, the man spoke without turning around. Reed. Daniel stopped. That voice. He knew that voice. The man turned. Dark hair. Scar through his left eyebrow. Face Daniel hadn't seen in 5 years. Marcus. Daniel's fists unclenched. What the hell are you doing here? Marcus Kozak looked older, grayer, but his eyes were the same. Sharp. Missing nothing. Told you I'd call, Marcus said. Didn't say I wouldn't also show up. You're scaring my daughter. I'm scaring her brother. You're the one who just saved a woman with a $30 million price on her head. Marcus pulled out a cigarette, didn't light it. You made yourself visible. Bad move. I didn't know who she was. Doesn't matter. You're on camera now. Facial recognition. Within an hour, every contractor from here to Karachi knew Daniel Reed was alive and working as a waiter in Chicago. Marcus finally lit the cigarette. Some people thought you were dead. Some people hoped you were dead. Now they know different. Daniel's chest tightened. Nobody knows I'm here. Everybody knows you're here. Why do you think I'm standing on your street at 9 p.m.? Marcus took a drag. I'm not the only one who's going to come looking. I'm just the only one who gives a damn about keeping you alive. I'm out. You made sure of that. Out doesn't mean safe. You know that. Marcus glanced up at the 4th floor window where Mrs. Chen's curtain moved. Your kid up there? Don't. Relax. I'm not here to threaten you. I'm here to warn you. Marcus flicked ash on the sidewalk. Claire Donovan's in deep trouble. Corporate espionage, hostile takeover attempts, and now someone's trying to kill her. The café gunman. That was amateur hour, a distraction. The real players are circling. Who? Nexus Corporation, her ex-husband's company. They've hired Blackwater contractors, not the official kind, the kind that don't exist on paper. Daniel's blood went cold. Blackwater, he knew those contractors, had worked with some of them, knew what they were capable of. Why are you telling me this? Because she offered you a job tonight, didn't she? Marcus smiled without humor. I know she did, and I know you said no, but you're going to change your mind. I'm not. You will, because in about 6 hours someone's going to try to kill her again, and this time they won't miss. And when it happens, you're going to remember that she has an 8-year-old daughter who's about to lose her mother. Marcus dropped the cigarette, crushed it under his boot. Just like your daughter lost hers. You son of a... I'm not trying to hurt you, Reed. I'm trying to wake you up. You think you can hide here, play normal. You're not normal. You never were. And now that you're visible again, every ghost from your past is going to come knocking. Marcus started walking away. Help the woman or don't. But either way, you need to move your daughter somewhere safe, because if they can't get to you directly, they'll go through her. Daniel grabbed his arm. If anyone touches Lily, then you'll kill them. I know, that's what you do. Marcus pulled free. That's what you've always done. So stop pretending you're something else and start protecting your family the only way you know how. He disappeared into the dark. Daniel stood there shaking, not from cold, from rage, from fear, from the sick certainty that Marcus was right. He went upstairs. Mrs. Chen opened her door before he could knock. Lily ran out and wrapped her arms around his waist. Daddy, you're back. I'm back, sweetheart. Daniel picked her up even though she was getting too big for it. Everything's okay. Who was that man? An old friend. Nothing to worry about. Mrs. Chen's eyes said she didn't believe him. Daniel, is everything all right? Yes, ma'am, just a misunderstanding. Thank you for watching her. He carried Lily into their apartment, locked all 3 locks, set the police bar, tucked her into bed and sat on the edge until she fell asleep. Then he went to the window and looked out at the empty street. Marcus was gone, but the warning remained. Daniel pulled out his phone, found the business card he'd photographed earlier, Claire Donovan's number. It rang 3 times. Daniel. Claire's voice was surprised, hopeful. Did you change your mind? Tell me about Nexus. Silence. Then, how do you know about Nexus? Someone just warned me, said they're coming for you, said it's going to happen soon. Who warned you? Someone who knows things he shouldn't. Daniel closed the curtain. Is it true? Is your ex-husband trying to kill you? I don't know, maybe. Richard hates me, but I didn't think... Claire's voice broke. Nexus has been trying to buy me out for 2 years. Hostile takeover attempts, stock manipulation, poaching my employees. But murder, I can't believe he'd go that far. Believe it, and it's going to happen in the next 6 hours. How do you trust your security team? Yes, they're former Secret Service. Fire them. What? Fire them, or at least send them home tonight. If there's an attack coming, you need to know who's loyal and who's been bought. Secret Service agents can be compromised just like anyone else. Claire was quiet for a long moment. You're serious. Dead serious. Where's Sophia right now? Asleep upstairs, my nanny is with her. Do you trust the nanny? With my life. Good. Wake them both up. Pack bags. Be ready to move in 30 minutes. Move where? I'll text you an address. It's not fancy, but it's secure. An old safe house I used to know about. Daniel grabbed his jacket. I'm coming to you. Don't open the door for anyone until I get there. Daniel, wait. What about the $1 million, are you? I'm not doing this for money. Daniel looked at Lily's bedroom door. I'm doing this because you were right. I understand what it's like to be a parent who's terrified, so I'm going to help you, but we do this my way. No questions, no arguments. Understood? Understood. 30 minutes. Be ready. Daniel hung up, went to Lily's room. She was asleep, curled up with her stuffed rabbit. He kissed her forehead. I'm sorry, baby, he whispered. I'm so sorry. He wrote a note for Mrs. Chen, slipped it under her door with $300 from his emergency cash. Asked her to take Lily to her sister's house in Oak Park tomorrow morning. Stay there until he called. Keep her safe. Then he changed into jeans and boots, pulled a black duffel bag from the back of his closet. He hadn't opened it in 5 years. Inside, tactical gear, 2 handguns, ammunition, a knife, fake IDs, and $10,000 in cash. His ghost kit, the things you kept when you knew you might need to disappear. He loaded one of the guns, holstered it under his jacket, grabbed the duffel, took one last look at his daughter, then he left. The drive to Claire's house took 20 minutes. She lived in Lincoln Park, a neighborhood where houses cost millions, and had gates and security cameras and neighbors who called the police if they saw someone who didn't belong. Daniel didn't belong. He parked 2 blocks away, approached on foot. Claire's house was a brownstone, 3 stories, cameras on every corner, 2 security guards at the front door. Daniel circled around back, found the service entrance, picked the lock in 15 seconds. Inside, the house was silent, too silent. He moved through the kitchen, gun drawn, every sense alert. Don't move. The voice came from behind him, professional, calm. Daniel turned slowly. A man in a security uniform stood in the doorway, weapon pointed at Daniel's chest. Late 40s military, bearing finger on the trigger. I'm here to see Claire Donovan, Daniel said. She's not expecting visitors. Actually, she is. Call her. The guard didn't move. Put the gun down first. That's not going to happen. They stared at each other. Mexican standoff. Jenkins, it's okay. Claire appeared behind the guard. "He's with me." Jenkins lowered his weapon slowly. "Ms. Donovan, this man broke into your house." "I invited him. Stand down." Jenkins didn't look happy, but he holstered his gun. "I'll be outside if you need me." He left. Claire looked at Daniel, at the gun in his hand, at the tactical gear showing under his jacket. "So that's who you really are," she said quietly. "That's who I was. Where's Sophia?" "Upstairs with Maria, packed and ready like you said." Claire had changed into jeans and a sweater, no makeup, hair pulled back. She looked younger, more vulnerable. "Where are we going?" "A motel on the south side. Not glamorous, but secure. Cash only. No cameras. Owner doesn't ask questions." "How do you know about places like that?" "Because I used to be the kind of person who needed them." Daniel holstered his gun. "Are your security guards loyal?" "I think so. I hope so." "Hope isn't good enough. I need you to send them away, all of them. Tell them you're going to your mother's house for a few days. Tell them anything, but get them out of here." "And then what?" "Then we disappear. And I figure out who's trying to kill you before they succeed." Claire stared at him. "You really think it's going to happen tonight?" "I know it is." As if on cue, the lights went out. The whole house went dark. Emergency lights kicked on dim and red. "Get Sophia," Daniel said. "Now." Claire ran for the stairs. Daniel moved to the window, looked out. The entire block was dark. Not a power outage. Someone had cut the electricity. They were coming. Daniel pulled out his phone. No signal. Jammed. Professional work. Footsteps on the front porch. Multiple targets. Daniel counted 4, maybe 5. They were trying to be quiet, but he'd been trained to hear what others missed. "Claire!" he shouted up the stairs. "We're leaving now." She appeared with Sophia, a sleepy 8-year-old in pajamas, and Maria, the nanny, carrying 2 bags. "Back door," Daniel said. "Stay behind me." They moved through the dark house. Daniel led them to the kitchen, to the service entrance he'd come through. He opened the door. A man stood there, black tactical gear, night vision goggles, rifle. Daniel didn't hesitate. He grabbed the rifle barrel, yanked it down, drove his elbow into the man's throat. The man went down, choking. Daniel grabbed the rifle, checked the magazine, full. "Who are you?" Claire whispered. "Someone who's done this before. Cars 2 blocks west. Stay close and stay quiet." They moved into the alley. The city was dark around them, no streetlights, no traffic. Someone had planned this carefully. Sophia started to cry. Maria covered her mouth gently. "Shh, baby, it's okay. We're okay." They made it 1 block before Daniel heard the footsteps behind them. He turned, saw 2 more men in tactical gear. They saw him at the same time. Daniel raised the rifle. "Get down!" The women hit the ground. Daniel fired 3 rounds. Both men dropped. "Run!" Daniel pulled Claire to her feet. "Run now!" They ran. Sophia was crying harder now. Maria was praying in Spanish. Claire held her daughter's hand and ran like her life depended on it, because it did. They reached Daniel's car, a 15-year-old Honda that barely ran. He threw the bags in the trunk, got everyone inside. "This is your car." Claire was breathing hard. "It runs. That's all that matters." Daniel started the engine, pulled out. No headlights, driving by memory and moonlight. Behind them, more men poured out of the alley. Someone fired. The back window exploded. Sophia screamed. Maria covered her with her body. Daniel hit the gas, swerved around a corner, ran a red light. More gunfire. The side mirrors shattered. "Are they going to kill us?" Sophia's voice was high and terrified. "No, baby," Claire said. "No, we're going to be okay." Daniel didn't answer. He was focused on driving, on the rear-view mirror, on the 3 cars now following them. Professional pursuit. They knew what they were doing. Daniel took a hard right into an alley, killed the engine, coasted into a loading dock, parked behind a dumpster. "Nobody move," he whispered to "Nobody breathe." The 3 cars drove past, engines fading into the distance. They sat in silence for 5 minutes. 10. Daniel counted the seconds, watched the shadows. Finally, he started the engine again. We need a different plan, he said. I thought you had a plan. Claire's voice shook. I did. Then 6 guys with tactical gear and night vision showed up at your house. Daniel pulled out of the alley heading south now. These aren't amateurs. They're professionals. Military contractors. And they're not going to stop. So what do we do? Daniel thought about Marcus's warning, about the men he used to work with, about a world he'd tried to leave behind. I make some calls, Daniel said. Bring in people I trust, people who know how to fight this kind of enemy. Do you have people like that? Daniel smiled without humor. I used to. He drove them to a different motel, not the one he'd originally planned. This one was worse. $40 a night, no questions asked, rooms that smelled like cigarettes and regret. But it was off the grid, and right now that was all that mattered. He got them inside room 247. Sophia was asleep in Maria's arms. Claire looked shell-shocked. Try to rest, Daniel said. I need to make those calls. Will you be here? Right outside the door. Nobody's getting in without going through me. Claire nodded, took Sophia from Maria, put her on the bed. The little girl didn't even stir. Daniel went outside, closed the door behind him, pulled out his phone. The jammer was gone now. Signal was back. He dialed a number he'd memorized 5 years ago and sworn he'd never use. It rang once. Reed, Marcus's voice. You're still alive. Good. You knew they were coming tonight. I knew they'd try. Glad to see you're still faster than they are. Marcus paused. Where are you? Safe. For now. Daniel watched the empty parking lot. I need help. Real help. The kind that doesn't ask questions. How many? 3, maybe 4. People we worked with. People who won't hesitate. That's a lot of ghosts to wake up. Can you do it or not? Marcus was quiet for a moment. I can do it, but Reed, once you start this, there's no going back. You understand that you're jumping back into the fire. I know, and you're okay with that. Daniel thought about Lily, about Sophia, about 2 little girls who deserve to grow up with their parents. I'm okay with it. All right, give me 6 hours. I'll have them there by sunrise. Marcus paused, and Reed, welcome back. The line went dead. Daniel sat down on the curb outside room 247. He'd spent 5 years trying to be normal, 5 years trying to forget, 5 years telling himself he could be just a dad, just a regular person. But Marcus was right. He'd never been normal. And now the world had found him again, so he'd do what he did best. He'd fight. The sun came up at 6:17. Daniel hadn't slept. He'd spent the night watching the parking lot, counting cars, memorizing license plates. Old habits. The first one arrived at 6:30, a black Jeep with tinted windows. It parked 3 spaces away from Daniel's Honda. The driver got out. She was maybe 35, dark-skinned cornrows, pulled back tight, moving like a predator. Sarah Mitchell, called Mitch by everyone who'd worked with her. Sniper, best shot Daniel had ever seen. Reed. She walked over, didn't offer her hand. You look like hell. You look the same. 5 years of yoga and therapy. Mitch sat down on the curb next to him. Didn't work. Still have nightmares about Kandahar. We all do. Kozak said you need help. Must be bad if you're calling in favors. It's bad. The second vehicle arrived 10 minutes later, a pickup truck that had seen better days. The man who got out was huge, 6'4", 250, all muscle. Tommy Chen, no relation to Daniel's neighbor, demo expert, could blow a door or defuse a bomb with the same steady hands. Reed, you son of a bitch. Tommy grabbed Daniel in a bear hug that cracked his ribs. 5 years, and you don't call, don't write nothing. I was trying to disappear. Well, you did a shit job of it if we're all here. Tommy grinned. Who we killing? Hopefully nobody. That's disappointing. The third arrival came at 7. A sedan nondescript, the kind you'd never remember seeing. The driver was slim Asian, late 40s. James Park. Logistics. Could get anything anywhere at any time. Passports, weapons, vehicles, safe houses. Daniel, James nodded once. You need supplies. Everything. Weapons, ammunition, body armor, surveillance equipment. How soon? Yesterday. James pulled out a tablet, started typing. I can have it here by noon. Cost you 30 grand. I don't have 30 grand. Then you'll owe me. James kept typing. What else? Information. I need to know everything about Nexus Corporation and Richard Donovan. Financial records, employee lists, property holdings, security details, everything. That's harder. Corporate espionage gets expensive. I'll owe you more. James smiled. Good to have you back, Reed. The fourth person didn't drive. She walked, appeared out of nowhere like smoke. Early 30s, blonde Stockholm accent. Katya Volkov, intelligence specialist, could hack anything, anywhere, anytime. Daniel Reed. She didn't smile. Katya never smiled. Kozak says you are protecting Billionaire CEO. This is unusual job for you. It's a long story. I have time. The door to room 247 opened. Claire stepped out, saw 5 people she didn't know, standing in the parking lot with Daniel. Her hand went to her phone. It's okay, Daniel said. They're with me. Who are they? People I used to work with. People I trust. Claire looked at each of them, her CEO brain clearly calculating, assessing. You were more than just army, weren't you? Yes. What were you? Daniel stood up. Someone who did things that needed doing. That's all you need to know. Mitch stepped forward, extended her hand. Sarah Mitchell, sniper. Worked with Reed in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and some places that don't exist on maps. He saved my life twice. I trust him with my daughter's name on my emergency contact list. That good enough for you? Claire shook her hand slowly. You have a daughter. 2, 6, and 8. So yeah, I get it. Kozak told me what's happening. Nobody's touching your kid. Not while we're here. Something in Claire's face softened. She looked at Daniel differently now. How many people did you kill? The parking lot went silent. Does it matter? Daniel asked. Yes. 37 confirmed. Probably more. Daniel's voice was flat. They were all enemy combatants. All legitimate targets, all authorized by people way above my pay grade. And you're okay with that? No, but I did it anyway because someone had to. Daniel looked at her directly. You want someone who's never taken a life, who doesn't know what violence looks like, then I'm the wrong person. But if you want someone who can keep you and Sophia alive against professional killers, then I'm exactly who you need. Claire was quiet for a long moment, then she nodded. Okay, I trust you. She glanced back at the motel room. Sophia's asking for breakfast. Is it safe to go out? Not yet. James will get food delivered. What does she like? Pancakes, chocolate chip if possible. James was already on his phone. 30 minutes. They moved the meeting inside. Sophia and Maria stayed in the bedroom while the adults gathered in the main room. Daniel spread out a map of Chicago on the bed. Here's what we know, he said. Nexus Corporation is trying to kill Claire. Last night they sent at least 6 contractors to her house. Military-grade equipment, professional tactics. They're not playing around. Why kill her? Tommy asked. Why not just buy her company? They've tried. Hostile takeover attempts. Stock manipulation. Nothing worked. Claire pulled out her phone, showed them a chart. My company's worth $12 billion. Nexus wants our patents, our technology, our market share, but my board won't sell and neither will I. So they're going to kill you and take it anyway, Katya said. Classic corporate warfare. We need to know who's running the operation, Mitch said. Who hired the contractors? Richard Donovan, Daniel said. Claire's ex-husband. He's CFO of Nexus. You sure about that? James asked. That's a big accusation. Claire's hands tightened on her phone. I don't want to believe it. We were married for 10 years. We have a daughter together. But yes, I think it's him. He's always wanted what I have. And when he couldn't have me anymore, he decided to take my company instead. Then we need proof, Katya said. Evidence that links him to the attack. Something that will hold up in court. Or we just kill him, Tommy suggested. No. Daniel's voice was hard. We're not assassins. We protect Claire, we gather evidence, we let the law handle it. The law doesn't work against billionaires, Mitch said quietly. Then we make it work. There was a knock at the door. Everyone went silent. Daniel pulled his gun, moved to the window, looked out. Delivery driver. Young kid, probably college student, holding 2 bags of food. James checked his phone. That's our breakfast. Daniel opened the door carefully, took the food, tipped the kid $50, closed and locked the door again. You're paranoid, Claire said. I'm alive, Daniel corrected. There's a difference. They ate breakfast while planning. Katya set up her laptop, started digging into Nexus's network. James made calls, arranged for weapons and equipment. Mitch cleaned her rifle with the precision of a surgeon. Tommy checked explosives, even though nobody had asked for explosives. Just in case, he said with a grin. Sophia came out of the bedroom, saw all the strangers hid behind her mother. It's okay, baby. Claire picked her up. These are Daddy's friends. I mean Daniel's friends. They're here to help us. Why do we need help? Sophia's voice was small. Because Mommy's having some trouble at work, but it's going to be okay. Sophia looked at Daniel. Are you going to keep us safe? Daniel met her eyes, saw Lily in them, saw every kid who deserved better than the violence adults brought into the world. Yes, he said, I promise. Okay. Sophia seemed satisfied with that. Kids believed promises. Adults knew better. Daniel's phone buzzed. Unknown number. He stepped outside to answer. Reed, a voice he didn't recognize, digitally altered. You're making a mistake. Who is this? Someone who's trying to save your life. Walk away. Take your daughter and disappear. Leave Claire Donovan to us. Not happening. Then you'll die with her, and so will the little girl. Lily isn't it 9 years old, goes to St. Anne's Elementary, lives at 847 Ashland Avenue, apartment 4B. Daniel's blood turned to ice. If you touch her, we won't. Not if you walk away. Right now, you have 24 hours. The line went dead. Daniel stood there shaking, not from fear, from rage. They'd threatened Lily. They'd made this personal. He went back inside. Change of plans. We need to get my daughter now. What happened? Claire asked. They know about Lily. They threatened her. Daniel was already grabbing his keys. I need to get to Oak Park. Mrs. Chen was supposed to take her there this morning. I'll go with you, Mitch said. Me too, Tommy added. No, stay here. Protect Claire and Sophia. Daniel looked at James. You got a clean phone I can use. James handed him a burner. Untraceable. Daniel called Mrs. Chen. It rang 6 times before she answered. Hello. Mrs. Chen, it's Daniel. Is Lily with you? Yes, we're at my sister's house. She's eating breakfast. She's fine. Listen to me very carefully. Don't go outside. Don't answer the door for anyone. I'm coming to get her, but it's going to take me an hour. Can you keep her inside until then? Daniel, you're scaring me. What's happening? Just please, trust me. Keep her inside. Okay, I will. Daniel hung up, looked at Claire. I have to go. I understand. Claire grabbed his arm. Bring her here. Bring her somewhere safe. We'll protect her too. This isn't your problem. You made it my problem when you decided to help me, and now they've made it yours by threatening your daughter. Claire's eyes were fierce. Bring Lily here. We'll keep both our girls safe. Daniel wanted to argue, wanted to keep his daughter separate from this mess. But he knew Claire was right. Nowhere was safe anymore. Not for Lily. Not for any of them. Okay, he said. I'll be back in 2 hours. He drove to Oak Park, going 20 over the limit. Kept checking the rearview mirror for tails. Saw nothing but couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Mrs. Chen's sister lived in a small house with a chain-link fence and a garden gnome. Daniel parked out front, checked the street. Empty, quiet, too quiet. He approached the front door, rang the bell. Mrs. Chen answered, Lily behind her. Daddy! Lily ran to him. Mrs. Chen said we're having an adventure. That's right, sweetheart. Daniel picked her up. We're going on a trip. How does that sound? Where are we going? Somewhere safe, somewhere fun. Daniel looked at Mrs. Chen. Thank you for everything. Daniel. Mrs. Chen touched his face. You're a good boy, a good father. Whatever trouble you're in, I know you'll fix it. I'm going to try. He carried Lily to the car, buckled her in, started driving back toward the city. Daddy, you look worried, Lily said from the back seat. I'm okay, baby. Are we in trouble? Daniel wanted to lie, wanted to tell her everything was fine. But he'd learned from Sarah that lies didn't protect kids. Truth did, age-appropriate truth, but truth nonetheless. Some bad people are trying to hurt a friend of mine, Daniel said. So I'm helping her, and to keep you safe while I do that, we're going to stay somewhere different for a few days. Like a hotel. Sort of. Will there be a pool? Probably not. Oh. Lily was quiet for a moment. Daddy, are you a hero? Daniel's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Why do you ask that? Because Mrs. Chen showed me the news. You saved a lady from a bad man. That's what heroes do. I'm not a hero, sweetheart. I just did what anyone would do. But nobody else did it, just you. Lily kicked her feet against the seat. I think you're a hero. Daniel's throat tightened. Thank you, baby. They were 5 minutes from the motel when Daniel noticed the car, black sedan, 3 cars back. Had been there since Oak Park, following them. Daniel took a right turn. The sedan followed. He took another right. The sedan stayed with them. Lily, I need you to do something for me, Daniel said calmly. Okay. Get down on the floor, right now, and stay there until I tell you to get up. Why? Because Daddy said so. Please, baby, right now. Lily climbed down onto the floor. Daniel could see her in the mirror, scared but trusting. He took a hard left into an alley. The sedan followed Todd. Daniel hit the gas, swerved around a dumpster, came out on a side street. The sedan was still behind them, not cops. Cops would have used lights and sirens. These were the same people who'd attacked Claire's house. Daniel pulled out the burner phone, called Mitch. Yeah? I'm being followed. Black sedan, Illinois plates, can't read the number. I'm bringing them to you. How far out? 3 minutes. We'll be ready. Daniel hung up, drove toward the motel, not too fast, letting the sedan think he didn't know they were there. 2 minutes. 1 minute. He pulled into the motel parking lot. The sedan parked across the street. Daniel got out slowly, opened the back door. Lily, stay in the car. Don't get out no matter what. Daddy, I'm scared. I know, but I promise you're safe. I promise. He closed the door, walked toward the motel room. The sedan's doors opened. 2 men got out, suits, earpieces, professional. Daniel kept walking, 20 feet to the motel room, 15. Mr. Reed, one of the men called out. We need to talk to you. Daniel didn't stop. 10 feet. Mr. Reed, I'm going to need you to stop. 5 feet. The motel room door opened. Mitch stepped out, rifle up, scope on the first man's chest. I'm going to need you to get back in your car, she said calmly. The second man reached for his gun. Tommy appeared from behind a van, shotgun leveled. Don't, Tommy said. Really don't. The 2 men froze, looked at each other, looked at the weapons pointed at them. We're just here to deliver a message, the first man said. So deliver it, Daniel said. Richard Donovan wants to meet. Tomorrow, noon, Navy Pier, just you and him. He says he can explain everything. And if I say no, then things get worse for everyone. The man glanced at Daniel's car, at Lily in the back seat, especially for people you care about. Daniel was across the parking lot before the man could blink, had him by the throat, slammed against the sedan. You threaten my daughter again and I will end you. Do you understand me? The man's eyes went wide, scared. I'm just the messenger. Then tell Richard I'll be there, noon, Navy Pier, and tell him to come alone. Because if I see any of his contractors, any of his people, anyone I don't like the look of, I'm going to assume he's trying to kill me, and I will respond accordingly. Daniel let him go. The man gasped for air. Now get out of here before my friends decide to start shooting. The two men got back in the sedan, drove away fast. Daniel went to his car, opened the door. Lily was crying. "Daddy, who were those men?" "Nobody, baby, nobody important." Daniel picked her up, held her tight. "You're okay. You're safe. You hurt that man. I know. I'm sorry you saw that. But he was bad, right? You only hurt bad people." Daniel closed his eyes. "Yes, sweetheart, only bad people." He carried her into the motel room. Claire was standing there with Sophia. The two girls looked at each other. "Hi," Sophia said shyly. "Hi," Lily said back. "Do you want to watch cartoons?" "Okay." Just like that, they were friends. Kids made it look so easy. "Richard wants to meet," Daniel told the group. "Tomorrow, Navy Pier." "It's a trap," Katya said immediately. "Of course it's a trap, but I'm going anyway." "Why?" Claire asked. "Because maybe he'll say something useful. Maybe he'll slip up. And because if I don't go, he'll keep escalating, keep threatening people I care about." "Then we all go," Mitch said. "No, just me." "That's suicide. That's the job." Daniel looked at each of them. "I need all of you here, protecting Claire and the girls. That's what matters. And what happens to you?" Claire's voice shook. "I've survived worse." "Have you?" She stepped closer. "Because from where I'm standing, you're about to walk into a meeting with a man who's tried to kill me twice, who's threatened your daughter, who has unlimited resources and no conscience. That doesn't sound survivable to me." Daniel met her eyes, saw the fear there, saw something else too, something he hadn't seen in a long time, someone who cared if he lived or died. "I'll be careful," he said quietly. "That's not enough. It's all I've got." Katya's laptop beeped. She looked at the screen, her face going pale. "We have problem," she said. "Big problem." "What is it?" "I've been monitoring Nexus's communications. They just moved $30 million into offshore account, payment for something, and they've activated a contractor we know. Very dangerous man." "Who?" Katya turned the laptop around, showed them a photo. The man in the picture was maybe 40, scarred face, dead eyes. "They call him the surgeon," Katya said, "because he cuts people apart, slowly, professionally, never leaves witnesses." "I know him," Mitch said quietly. "Worked with him once in Kabul. He's not human. He's something else." "Where is he?" Daniel asked. "Chicago. Arrived this morning." Katya pulled up more data. "Nexus hired him 3 days ago. The job is simple. Kill Claire Donovan and anyone protecting her." Claire sat down heavily. $30 million. He's getting $30 million to kill me. "That's the biggest contract I've ever seen," James said. "That's not just a hit. That's a war." Daniel looked at the photo again, at the surgeon's dead eyes. "Then we'd better be ready for a war," he said. They had 18 hours before the meeting at Navy Pier, 18 hours to prepare for a trap they knew was coming but couldn't avoid. James returned at midnight with 3 duffel bags full of equipment, body armor, weapons, communications gear, everything they needed to turn the motel room into a command center. Katya set up surveillance hacked into traffic cameras within a 5-mile radius, created a digital perimeter that would alert them if anyone got close. The girls were asleep in the bedroom. Lily and Sophia curled up together like they'd known each other for years. Maria sat between their beds, rosary in her hands, praying quietly. Daniel stood by the window watching the parking lot. He hadn't slept in 36 hours. Couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the surgeon's face, those dead eyes, and wondered how many people had seen them last, before dying. "You should rest," Claire said behind him. "Can't." "When's the last time you slept?" "Doesn't matter." Claire moved beside him, looked out at the same empty parking lot. "You know, a week ago my biggest problem was a quarterly earnings report. Now I'm hiding in a motel while a professional killer hunts me and my daughter. It's surreal." "Welcome to my world." "Is it always like this? The violence, the danger?" "It was, for a long time." Daniel glanced at her, but I tried to leave it behind. Thought I could be normal. Turns out normal doesn't want people like me. People like you. Broken, dangerous, good at killing and not much else. That's not true, Claire said quietly. You're good at protecting people. You're good at being a father. I've watched you with Lily, the way she looks at you, the way she trusts you completely. That's not someone who's just good at killing. Daniel's throat tightened. She doesn't know what I've done. If she did, she'd still love you, because kids see what matters, and what matters is that you'd die for her. Claire touched his arm. I understand that. I'd die for Sophia too. That's why I'm trusting you, because I know you get it. They stood there in silence for a moment. Then Mitch appeared from the bathroom, wiping down her rifle. Hate to interrupt, she said, but we've got movement. Katya, show them. Katya pulled up the laptop. Security footage from a gas station 3 blocks away. Timestamp 20 minutes ago. A black van, windows tinted, parking near the air pump. 3 men getting out. One of them was the surgeon. He's here, Tommy said. Son of a bitch is actually here. He's scouting, Daniel said. Looking for us. How close did he get? 2 blocks. Then he turned around. Katya pulled up more footage. He knows general area, but not exact location. We still have time. Time for what? Claire asked. To move, James said. We can't stay here. He'll find us eventually. Where do we go? I have a place, Mitch said. Old warehouse, south side. Owner owes me a favor. It's secure, defensible, off the grid. How soon can we move? Daniel asked. 30 minutes. Do it. They woke the girls gently. Lily rubbed her eyes, confused. Daddy, what's happening? We're going somewhere safer, sweetheart, just for a little while. Another adventure. Something like that. They packed quickly, efficiently, military training kicking in. 5 minutes to clear the room of any evidence they'd been there. 3 minutes to load the vehicles. 2 minutes to sweep the perimeter. Daniel drove with Claire, Sophia, and Lily. Mitch led the way in her Jeep with Maria. Tommy and James followed in the pickup. Katya stayed on her laptop in the passenger seat of Mitch's vehicle, monitoring cameras, watching for tails. The warehouse was exactly what Mitch had promised. Concrete and steel-barred windows, one entrance that could be defended by a single person with a rifle. Inside, it was mostly empty except for some old crates and a makeshift living area in the back. It's not the Ritz, Mitch said as they filed in. It's perfect, Daniel replied. They set up defensive positions. Tommy rigged the entrance with sensors that would alert them if anyone approached. Mitch found a position on the 2nd floor with clear sight lines to the street. James inventoried weapons, made sure everyone was armed and ready. Claire watched all of this with wide eyes. You've done this before, all of you. This isn't just training, this is experience. 6 tours between the 4 of us, Tommy said, plus whatever Black Ops missions don't officially exist. Yeah, we've done this before. And you all just came because Daniel called? Reed's one of us, Mitch said simply. He calls, we come. No questions. Sophia tugged on her mother's sleeve. Mommy, I'm scared. Claire picked her up. I know, baby, but these people are going to keep us safe, I promise. That's what you said at home. Then the bad men came. Claire's face crumpled. I know, I'm sorry, but this time is different. Daniel watched them and felt something crack in his chest. The way Claire held her daughter fierce and protective. The way Sophia trusted her even though that trust had already been broken once. It reminded him of Sarah of those last days in the hospital, when she'd made him promise to protect Lily no matter what. He'd made that promise, and he'd keep it, even if it killed him. The night passed slowly. Daniel took first watch, sat by the window with a rifle and watched the empty street. At 3 a.m., Claire came and sat beside him. Can't sleep, he asked. Every time I close my eyes, I see them. The men at my house, the guns, Sophia screaming. Claire wrapped her arms around herself. I keep thinking, what if you hadn't been there? What if I'd sent them away and tried to run by myself? We'd be dead right now. But you're not. Because of you. She looked at him. Why are you doing this, Daniel, really? It's not the money. You turned down $1 million. I told you, I understand what it's like to be a parent who's terrified. There's more to it than that. Daniel was quiet for a long time. Then, when Sarah was dying, she made me promise something. She said, "Promise me you'll be one of the good ones. Promise me you'll use what you can do to help people, not hurt them." And I promised. But then she died and I couldn't keep that promise because I was too broken, too dangerous. So I buried myself, became nobody, worked minimum wage jobs, and pretended I was normal. He looked at Claire. You gave me a chance to keep that promise, to be one of the good ones, even if it's just this once. You are one of the good ones, Claire said softly. You always have been. You just forgot for a while. Before Daniel could respond, his phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Reed. It was Richard Donovan's voice, smooth, educated, the voice of a man who'd never been told no. I'm calling to confirm our meeting tomorrow, noon, Navy Pier. I'll be there. Come alone. I will, if you will. Richard laughed. You don't trust me. You tried to kill your ex-wife twice, so no, I don't trust you. Fair enough, but I'm not the one who's been lying to you. What's that supposed to mean? Ask Claire about Project Titan. Ask her what her company's really been developing. Ask her why people want her dead. Richard paused. See you tomorrow, Reed, and bring your A-game. You're going to need it. He hung up. Daniel turned to Claire. What's Project Titan? Her face went pale. How did you? Richard just told me, said you've been lying to me. What is it? Claire stood up, walked away, then turned back. It's classified. I can't tell you. People are trying to kill you. Your ex-husband just implied you're hiding something that matters. I need to know what I'm protecting. You're protecting me and my daughter. That's all you need to know. That's not good enough. It has to be. Claire's voice rose. You want the truth? Fine. My company developed an AI system, military grade. It can hack any network bypass, any security control, any infrastructure, power grids, water systems, traffic lights, financial markets, everything. And yes, it's dangerous. Yes, people want it. Yes, that's probably why Richard's trying to kill me, because whoever controls Project Titan controls everything. The room went silent. Even the others had stopped what they were doing to listen. Jesus Christ, Tommy whispered. You built a weapon, Daniel said flatly. I built a tool that could revolutionize cybersecurity. But yes, in the wrong hands, it's a weapon. Claire's eyes were fierce. And that's why I won't sell it. Not to the government, not to Nexus, not to anyone. Because the second it leaves my control, it becomes exactly what you think it is. A weapon. Does Richard know you have it? He suspects. He was still my husband when we started development. He saw early prototypes. But I moved the project to a secure facility after the divorce. He doesn't know where it is or how to access it. But he knows it exists, Mitch said. And he knows if you're dead, he might be able to get it. Except I'm not dead. Thanks to all of you. Claire looked at Daniel. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but now you understand. This isn't just about me. If Project Titan falls into the wrong hands, people die. Lots of people. Daniel processed this. A weapon that could control infrastructure in the hands of someone like Richard Donovan or the contractors he'd hired. The damage would be catastrophic. Where is it? He asked. The AI. Where's it stored? Secure facility, offline, air-gapped, no internet connection. You'd need physical access and biometric authentication to get anywhere near it. And you're the only one with that access, me and one other person, my head of development, Dr. Sarah Kim. Daniel's blood ran cold. Sarah Kim, your assistant. What? No, that's a different Sarah. Why? Because the woman who'd called him offering $5,000 had said her name was Sarah Kim, the woman who'd known exactly where to find him, exactly when to call, exactly what to offer. We've been compromised, Daniel said. Your assistant, the one who called me, she used the same name as your head of development. Claire grabbed her phone. That's impossible. Sarah Kim has been with my company for 8 years. She's vetted, trusted. Call her right now. Claire dialed. It rang 6 times, went to voicemail. Sarah, it's Claire. Call me back immediately. It's urgent. She hung up. Tried the office line. No answer. Tried Sarah's emergency contact. Nothing. She's gone, Katya said, already typing on her laptop. I'm checking her background now. Give me 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes felt like hours. Finally, Katya looked up, her face grim. Sarah Kim is not Sarah Kim. Real Sarah Kim died in a car accident 2 years ago. This woman assumed her identity, forged credentials, passed background checks because someone very good helped her. She's been inside your company for 24 months, long enough to learn everything. Oh my God. Claire sat down hard. She knows about Project Titan. She knows where it is. She knows how to access it. Not without you, Daniel said. You said biometric authentication. She can't get in without your fingerprints, your retinal scan, whatever. She doesn't need mine. Claire's voice was hollow. She needs any executive-level authorization, me or my VP of technology, and my VP just flew to our London office yesterday, alone, without security. James was already on his phone. What's his name? David Chen. I'm calling him now. The phone rang and rang. Finally, a British voice answered. Hello? David, it's Claire. Are you okay? Ms. Donovan, I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be? Where are you right now? At the hotel. It's 4 a.m. here. What's going on? I need you to stay in your room. Don't open the door for anyone. I'm sending security. Claire, you're scaring me. Just please trust me. Stay there. She hung up. He's okay. He's still okay. For now, Mitch said. But if they can't get to him, they'll come for you. You're the other key to that facility. Then we need to move it, Claire said. Move the AI. Destroy it if we have to. Can you access it remotely? Katya asked. No, that's the whole point. It's air-gapped. I'd need to be physically there. Where's the facility? Oak Park, Industrial District, about 30 minutes from here. Daniel looked at his watch. 5 a.m. 7 hours until the meeting with Richard. 7 hours to decide if they were walking into a trap or setting one. We go to the facility, he said. Now, secure the AI before they can get to it. Then I meet Richard and find out what he knows. That's 2 operations simultaneously, James said. We don't have enough people. Then we prioritize. Katya and Tommy go with Claire to the facility. Secure it, move the AI if possible. Destroy it if necessary. Mitch and James stay here with the girls and Maria. I go to Navy Pier alone like Richard wants. That's suicide, Mitch said again. Maybe, but it keeps everyone else safe. Daniel checked his weapon. And if it goes wrong, you all know what to do. Get Claire and the girls out of Chicago, out of the country if you have to. Make sure they disappear. Daniel, Claire started. No arguments. This is what has to happen. Claire grabbed his arm. You're not going to that meeting alone. I won't let you. You don't have a choice. Yes, I do. It's my company, my AI, my mess. And I'm not letting you die cleaning it up. Claire's eyes were fierce. We go to the facility together, all of us, secure the AI, then we all go to Navy Pier together. That's insane. So is splitting up. So is sending you to face Richard alone. Claire stepped closer. You said you wanted to be one of the good ones. Well, so do I. And good people don't let others sacrifice themselves. They fight together. Daniel looked at her, saw the determination there, the courage, the same thing he'd seen in Sarah's eyes when she was dying, and made him promise to be better. Okay, he said finally, together. They woke the girls at 6 a.m. Lily was cranky, rubbed her eyes. Daddy, it's still dark. I know, sweetheart, but we have to go somewhere, just for a little while. I'm tired. I know. You can sleep in the car. They loaded up again. This time, everyone went. No one stayed behind. It was too dangerous to split up, too risky to leave anyone vulnerable. The facility was in an industrial park, all concrete and chain-link fences. Claire's building was in the middle, unremarkable, the kind of place you'd drive past without noticing. "Security?" Daniel asked as they approached. "2 guards at night. Cameras, biometric locks." Claire pulled out her phone. "I'm texting the guards to let them know I'm coming." No response. "Try calling," Daniel said. Claire called. No answer. "They're gone," Tommy said. "Either pulled off duty or already dead." Daniel parked a block away. "Everyone stays in the vehicles except Claire, Tommy, and me. Katya, monitor communications. Mitch, cover the entrance. James, protect the girls." They approached on foot. The front door was unlocked. Not broken. Unlocked. Someone had been here with a key. Inside, the hallways were dark. Emergency lights cast everything in red. No guards at the desk. No sound anywhere. "This is wrong," Tommy whispered. "This is all wrong." They moved deeper into the building. Claire led them to a secure elevator punched in a code. The doors opened. They descended 3 floors into the basement. The elevator opened onto a hallway with 1 door at the end. Reinforced steel. Biometric scanner. Claire placed her hand on the scanner, leaned in for the retinal scan. The door opened. Inside was a server room, rows of equipment humming quietly, and in the center, sitting at a terminal, was a woman. She turned around and smiled. "Hello, Claire," said the fake Sarah Kim. "Right on time." She wasn't alone. 6 men stepped out from behind the servers, armed, professional. And standing behind them all, watching with dead eyes, was the surgeon. "I believe you have something that belongs to me," he said in a voice like gravel. "And you're going to give it to me, or I'm going to start cutting pieces off the people you love until you do." He pulled out a knife, long, curved, the kind used for precise work. Claire stepped in front of Tommy and Daniel. "Don't touch them, then cooperate." The surgeon moved closer. "Project Titan, I want it now. It's encrypted. Even if you have the hardware, you can't access it without my authorization." "I know, that's why you're still alive." The surgeon smiled. It was the worst thing Daniel had ever seen. "But I don't need you alive. Just alive enough to use your fingerprints and eyeballs. So let's make this easy. Transfer access to me right now, or I start with your daughter." "Sophia's not here." "Not that daughter." The surgeon nodded to one of his men. The man pulled out a tablet, showed them a live video feed. The warehouse. The room where they'd just been, and standing in the middle of it, surrounded by armed men, were Mitch, James, Maria, Lily, and Sophia. Daniel's world stopped. "You see," the surgeon said, "I knew you'd come here eventually, so I waited. And while you were driving over, my team was visiting your friends. Now they're all going to die in exactly 5 minutes, unless you give me what I want. So what's it going to be? Ms. Donovan, your life's work or the lives of everyone you care about?" Claire looked at Daniel, at Tommy, at the screen showing her daughter's terrified face. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay, I'll give you access." "No," Daniel said. "Daniel, if you give him that AI, millions die. Cities go dark. Infrastructure fails. People starve. You know that. And if I don't, our daughters die right now." "I know." Daniel's voice was calm, dead calm. "Tommy, how long to blow this facility?" Tommy understood immediately, pulled out his phone, started calculating. 2 minutes to rig, 3 minutes before detonation. We'd have 5 minutes to get clear. "Do it." "Daniel, no." Claire grabbed him. "You can't. If we can't secure Project Titan, we destroy it. That was always the plan." Daniel looked at the surgeon. "You want the AI? Come and take it. But you've got 5 minutes before this whole building goes up. And trust me when I say Tommy's charges won't leave anything behind." The surgeon's smile faded. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" Daniel pulled out his own detonator. "I've killed 37 men. I've watched friends die. I've lost my wife to cancer and spent 5 years trying to forget who I am. You think I won't blow this building with all of us in it to protect the people I love?" For the first time, uncertainty crossed the surgeon's face. "Make your choice," Daniel said. "Try to take the AI and die here, or walk away and live, but you've got about 4 minutes to decide." Tommy was already moving, placing charges, working with the speed of someone who'd done this 100 times. The surgeon looked at fake Sarah Kim, at his men, at the screen showing the warehouse. Then he laughed. "You magnificent bastard," he said to Daniel. "You'd actually do it. Every word. All right, new plan." The surgeon nodded to his men. "Kill them all." The first shot came before the surgeon finished the sentence. Daniel moved, pulled Claire down behind a server rack as bullets tore through the air where her head had been. Tommy was already returning fire, 3 rounds, 2 men down. "Go," Tommy shouted. "Get her out." Daniel dragged Claire toward the door, but fake Sarah Kim was there, gun raised. Claire didn't hesitate. She grabbed a keyboard off the nearest desk and swung it like a bat caught Sarah in the temple. The woman went down hard. "I've been wanting to do that for 2 years, Claire said. More gunfire. The surgeon's men were professionals, but Tommy was better. He moved between the servers like smoke, firing, repositioning, firing again, but there were too many of them and only one of him. Daniel's phone buzzed. Text from Mitch. "Warehouse compromised, holding them off, but we need help now." Daniel showed it to Claire. "We have to choose. Stay here and help Tommy or go save our daughters." Claire's face was anguished. "We can't leave him." "Tommy," Daniel shouted over the gunfire, "can you hold them for about 2 more minutes?" Tommy dropped behind a server as bullets chewed through the metal. "Then this whole place goes boom, whether I want it to or not. We're going for the girls. I know. Get out of here." Daniel and Claire ran. Behind them, Tommy's voice echoed down the hallway. "Come on, you sons of bitches. I've got enough C4 down here to level this whole block. Who wants to die first?" They hit the elevator running. Claire punched the button frantically. "It's too slow," Daniel said. He pried open the doors to the stairwell, started climbing. Claire followed both of them, taking stairs 2 at a time. "How long?" Claire gasped. Daniel checked his watch. 3 minutes until detonation. They burst out of the stairwell into the lobby, ran for the exit. Behind them, Daniel heard something, a sound he recognized. Footsteps, fast ones. Someone had followed them up. He turned. The surgeon stood at the end of the hallway, knife in one hand, gun in the other. "Run," Daniel told Claire. "Not without you." "I said run." Claire ran. Daniel raised his weapon, but the surgeon was faster. His shot took the gun out of Daniel's hand, sent it skittering across the floor. "Just you and me now, Reed." The surgeon walked closer. "I've been looking forward to this. Do you know who I am? Really? You're a killer for hire. I'm the man they sent to replace you. When you quit, when you went soft, they needed someone who wouldn't hesitate. Someone who wouldn't let conscience get in the way." The surgeon was 10 feet away now. 5. "You killed 37 men. I've killed 216. So let's see if the legend lives up to the hype." He lunged. Daniel sidestepped, grabbed his wrist, twisted. But the surgeon was ready for it, rolled with the motion, came up with the knife, aimed at Daniel's throat. Daniel blocked it with his forearm, felt the blade slice through his jacket, through skin. Pain bloomed hot and immediate. They fought in the hallway, brutal and fast. The surgeon was good, better than good. But Daniel had something he didn't. He had a daughter waiting for him. He had a promise to keep. Daniel caught the surgeon's knife hand, drove his elbow into the man's face. Once, twice. The surgeon's nose shattered, but he just smiled, blood on his teeth. "That all you got?" Daniel kneed him in the ribs, heard something crack. The surgeon grunted, stumbled back. "We don't have time for this," Daniel said. 2 minutes until this building explodes. Then we'll die together." "No." Daniel's phone buzzed in his pocket. Text from Tommy. "Charges set. Get clear. 90 seconds." Daniel ran. The surgeon came after him, but Daniel was faster, hit the exit door, burst into the parking lot. Claire was there with the car running. "Drive." She floored it. Behind them, the surgeon appeared in the doorway, raised his gun. The building exploded. The blast wave hit the car like a fist, shattered the back window, sent them fishtailing across the parking lot. Claire fought the wheel, got control, kept driving. Daniel looked back. The facility was gone, just fire and smoke and debris raining down, and somewhere in that hell, Tommy was supposed to have gotten out. His phone rang. "Tommy, did you just blow yourself up?" Daniel demanded. "Almost. Got out through the maintenance tunnel. I'm about half a mile east of you. Could use a ride." "We're coming. Stay hidden." They picked up Tommy 3 blocks away. He was covered in dust, bleeding from a cut on his forehead, grinning like a lunatic. "That was fun," he said, climbing in. "We should do it again sometime." "Did you get them all?" Claire asked. "The surgeon. I don't know. The explosion was pretty big. If he was still inside..." Tommy shrugged. "Nobody survives that." Daniel wasn't so sure. Men like the surgeon didn't die easy, but they didn't have time to wonder. The warehouse, the girls, they had maybe 3 minutes before whatever was happening there reached its conclusion. Claire's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered on speaker. "Ms. Donovan." Richard's voice, calm, pleasant. "I'm at the warehouse with your daughter and Daniel's daughter and several other people I believe you care about. I think it's time we talked. If you hurt them, I'm not going to hurt them, not yet, but my associates are getting impatient. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to meet me at Navy Pier like we planned, noon. You're going to bring Project Titan, and in exchange, I'll let everyone live." "The facility's gone," Claire said. "Project Titan is destroyed." Silence. "Then you're lying." "I'm not. We just blew it up. Tommy Chen used about 50 pounds of C4. There's nothing left." More silence. Daniel could almost hear Richard thinking, recalculating. "Then I guess these people have no value anymore, do they?" Richard's voice went cold. "Goodbye, Claire." "Wait." Claire's voice broke. "Wait. Please, I have backups. Encrypted files, off-site servers. I can get you access. Just don't hurt them." "How long?" 2 hours, maybe 3. I need to get to my office, decrypt the files, transfer them to a secure drive. "You have 1 hour, Navy Pier, noon, and Claire, if you're lying to me again, your daughter dies first. Then Reed's, then all the others. Do you understand?" "I understand." Richard hung up. Tommy looked at her. "Please tell me you actually have backups." "I do, but they're encrypted with a key that only exists in my head. It would take him years to crack it." Claire checked the time. "We have 53 minutes to figure out how to save them." "We need a plan," Daniel said. "A real one. No more improvising." They drove to a parking garage, pulled into a corner spot, and thought. "Richard wants Project Titan," Claire said. "He thinks if he has it, he can control everything. Infrastructure, markets, power grids. He could hold entire cities hostage." "So we give it to him," Tommy said. "What?" "We give him what he wants, or what he thinks he wants. Katya can build a fake, make it look real. By the time he figures out it's a decoy, we'll have the girls and be long gone." "Where is Katya?" Daniel realized he hadn't heard from her since they split up. His phone buzzed. Text from a number he didn't recognize. "It's Katya. They have my phone. I'm at warehouse with others. 7 hostiles. Richard Donovan in charge. Be careful." "She's there," Daniel said. "At the warehouse. 7 hostiles, including Richard." 7 against 3, Tommy said. "I've had worse odds." "We're not going in shooting," Daniel said. "Not with the girls there. We need to be smart." "Smart? How?" Daniel thought about it, about Richard's ego, his need to win his belief that he was the smartest person in any room. "We use that against him. We make him think he's won, give him the fake Titan, get the girls, then take him down." "And how do we build a fake in 50 minutes, Claire asked. "We don't. We just need something that looks convincing." Daniel pulled out his phone. "I know someone who can help." He called Marcus. "Reed, I heard your facility exploded. Tell me you weren't about in it." "I got out. I need a favor." "Name it." I need a hard drive that looks like it contains classified AI data, something with enough real code to pass a basic inspection, but nothing actually functional. You're making a Trojan horse, something like that. I can have it to you in 30 minutes. Where are you? Daniel gave him the location. Marcus hung up without saying goodbye. 28 minutes later, a motorcycle pulled up. Marcus got off, handed Daniel a hard drive. Military-grade encryption on the outside, garbage code on the inside. Should fool anyone who doesn't have a few days to crack it. Marcus looked at Claire, at Tommy. This is the play-trade fake tech for real hostages. You have a better idea. Yeah, I call in an airstrike and level the warehouse. The girls are in there. I know, that's why I'm not doing it. Marcus pulled out a gun, handed it to Daniel. But I'm coming with you. And if Richard Donovan so much as looks at those kids wrong, I'm putting a bullet in his head. Deal. Deal. They drove to Navy Pier. It was 11:45, 15 minutes early. Daniel wanted to scout the location, see what they were walking into. The pier was empty. Navy Pier was usually packed with tourists, but Richard had somehow cleared it. Money bought a lot of things, including privacy. Richard stood at the end of the pier, hands in his pockets, looking out at the lake. He was alone. No bodyguards, no security. Just him. Too easy. This was too easy. Daniel approached slowly, Marcus and Tommy flanking him, Claire in the middle holding the hard drive. Claire, Richard said without turning around, you're early. I appreciate punctuality. Where are they? Claire demanded. Where's Sophia? Safe, for now. Richard turned. He was handsome in that corporate way, perfect hair, perfect suit, perfect smile that didn't reach his eyes. The real question is, did you bring what I want? Claire held up the hard drive. Project Titan, encrypted, you'll need the key, which you'll give me, after I see my daughter. Richard pulled out his phone, made a call. Bring them. 2 minutes later, a van pulled up. The doors opened. Mitch stepped out first, hands zip-tied behind her back. Then James, then Maria, then Katya, then Sophia and Lily, both crying, both terrified. Daniel's heart stopped when he saw Lily. She had a bruise on her cheek. Someone had hit his daughter. Who touched her? Daniel's voice was deadly quiet. One of my associates got a little enthusiastic when she wouldn't stop crying. Richard shrugged. Children can be so loud. Daniel started forward, but Marcus grabbed his arm. Not yet. Mitch's eyes met Daniel's. She shook her head slightly. A warning. Something was wrong. The trade, Richard said. The hard drive for the hostages. Simple transaction. Let them go first, Claire said. I'm not an idiot, Claire. You give me the drive. I verify it's real. Then you get your people. How are you going to verify it in the next 5 minutes? I have an expert standing by. Richard gestured. Another van pulled up. A man got out carrying a laptop. He looked familiar. Daniel realized with a sick feeling that it was David Chen, Claire's VP of Technology, the one who was supposed to be in London. David, Claire's voice broke. You're working with him? I'm sorry, Claire, but Richard's offering me $20 million and a position as CTO of the merged company. You were never going to promote me. I've been VP for 8 years. So you betrayed me for money. I betrayed you for what I deserve. David took the hard drive from Claire, plugged it into his laptop, started typing. Everyone waited. Daniel counted security, the 2 drivers of the vans, 3 more men standing back by the vehicles, 7 total like Katya had said. This is interesting, David said after 2 minutes. The encryption is military grade, better than anything I've seen. It's going to take me at least an hour to crack it. But it's real, Richard asked. It's real, or it's the most sophisticated fake ever created. David looked at Claire. I need the encryption key. No, Claire said. Then your daughter dies. Richard pulled out a gun, pointed it at Sophia. Everything happened at once. Mitch snapped her zip ties, which had been cut almost through, grabbed the nearest guard's weapon, shot him. James did the same, took down another guard. Katya dove for cover, pulling Maria and the girls with her. But Richard still had the gun on Sophia. "Everyone stop," he shouted. "Stop or I shoot her." They stopped. Richard grabbed Sophia, held her in front of him like a shield. "I gave you a chance, Claire. I tried to do this the easy way, but you just couldn't let me win, could you? Richard, please, she's your daughter too." "She's a pawn, that's all she's ever been." Richard's eyes were wild now. "Give me the real encryption key, right now, or I pull this trigger." Claire was crying. "I can't. If I give you that AI, millions of people will die." "Then your daughter dies first." Daniel looked at Lily. She was watching him with wide, terrified eyes, waiting for Daddy to save her like he always did. He remembered Sarah's words. "Promise me you'll be one of the good ones." Daniel pulled out his own gun, pointed it at Richard. "Let her go," Daniel said quietly. "Right now, or I will kill you." "You're going to shoot me while I'm holding a child. I'm going to shoot you before you hurt that child. I've killed 37 men, 37 confirmed kills in places you've never heard of, doing things that would give you nightmares. And you know what? Of every single one of them died because they threatened innocent people, just like you're doing right now." Daniel's hand was steady. "So this is how it's going to work. You're going to put down the gun, you're going to let Sophia go, and then you're going to get on your knees and wait for the police to arrive, because they're already on their way. We called them 10 minutes ago. You're bluffing." Sirens in the distance, getting closer. "Am I?" Daniel took a step forward. "You have a choice, Richard. Live or die, but you're not hurting that little girl. I won't let you." For a long moment, Richard stood there, gun pressed against Sophia's head, calculating his options. Then he smiled. "You're right, I'm not going to hurt her." He lowered the gun. Everyone breathed. Then Richard turned the gun on Claire. "But I am going to hurt you." He fired. Claire went down. Sophia screamed. Daniel shot Richard in the shoulder. The leg dropped him. Marcus was there a second later, kicking the gun away, securing him. Daniel ran to Claire. She was on the ground, blood spreading across her side. "I'm okay," she gasped. "It's not bad, just grazed me." But it wasn't a graze. The bullet had gone through her side, maybe hit something vital. She was losing blood fast. "Someone call an ambulance," Daniel shouted. Mitch was already on it. 2 minutes out." Daniel pressed his hands against the wound, trying to stop the bleeding. Claire's face was pale. "Sophia," she whispered. "Is she okay?" "She's fine, she's safe." "Good, that's good." Claire's eyes started to close. "Hey, stay with me. You're not dying on Navy Pier. That's too dramatic even for you." Claire laughed weakly. "I always liked drama." The ambulance arrived. Paramedics loaded Claire onto a stretcher. Sophia tried to follow, but they wouldn't let her. "Mommy!" she screamed. "Mommy! I've got her," Maria said, holding Sophia back. "You too, sweetie," one of the paramedics said, looking at Sophia. "Let's check you out, make sure you're okay." "I'm going with Mommy." "That's fine, you can ride in the ambulance." Daniel looked at Lily, checked her over. The bruise on her cheek was swelling. "Does it hurt?" "A little," Lily admitted. "Daddy, I was so scared." "I know, baby, I know, but you're safe now, I promise." Daniel held her close. "I'm never letting anything happen to you again." The police arrived. There were questions. So many questions. Daniel, Mitch, Tommy, James, Marcus, and Katya all sat in the back of separate police cars giving statements. Richard was arrested. So was David Chen and the remaining security guards. The fake Sarah Kim was found in the rubble of the facility, alive but unconscious, and arrested at the hospital. But they were still missing the surgeon. Daniel knew he was out there somewhere. Wounded, probably, but alive. Men like that didn't die in building explosions. They survived through sheer spite. At the hospital, they waited. Claire was in surgery for 2 hours. The bullet had nicked her liver, but the doctors were confident she'd recover. Daniel sat in the waiting room with Lily asleep in his lap. Sophia curled up next to Maria, and the rest of his team scattered around the room. "We did it," Mitch said quietly. "We actually did it. Richard's arrested. The AI is destroyed. Claire's alive." Tommy counted on his fingers. "I'd call that a win." "It's not over," Daniel said. The surgeon is still out there, and Richard has resources, lawyers, money. He might not stay in jail. Then we make sure he does, Katya said. She held up her laptop. I've been digging through Nexus's servers while we waited. Richard was sloppy, kept records of everything. The hired killings, the corporate espionage, the $30 million contract on Claire's head. All of it. I've sent everything to the FBI, the SEC, and several power news outlets. How much evidence? Enough to put him away for life, and enough to destroy Nexus completely. Good, Daniel said. A doctor appeared. Family of Claire Donovan. They all stood up. She's out of surgery, stable. She's going to be fine. She's asking for her daughter and someone named Daniel. Sophia ran down the hallway before anyone could stop her. Daniel followed with Lily. Claire was in a hospital bed, pale but awake. Sophia climbed up next to her, careful not to hurt her. Mommy, you're okay. I'm okay, baby. I'm okay. Claire looked at Daniel. Thank you for saving her, for saving all of us. You saved yourself. You're the one who stood up to Richard and got shot for it. Battle scars make you look tough. Claire smiled. Then her expression turned serious. It's really over. Richard's going to prison. According to Katya's research, he's going away for a long time. Corporate fraud, attempted murder, conspiracy. The evidence is overwhelming. And the surgeon, still out there, but without Richard's money backing him, he's just another contractor. We'll deal with him if he comes back. Claire reached for Daniel's hand, squeezed it. I don't know how to thank you. You don't need to. Yes, I do. You risked your life, your daughter's safety, everything. For me, a woman you barely knew. I knew enough. They sat there in comfortable silence, Sophia asleep against Claire's shoulder, Lily asleep in Daniel's arms. Two single parents who'd found each other in the worst possible circumstances and somehow come out the other side alive. What happens now? Claire asked. You recover, we keep you safe, and when you're ready, you rebuild. And you, what are you going to do? I don't know. Take care of Lily. Figure out what normal looks like. Daniel glanced at her. Maybe stick around Chicago for a while. Make sure you're okay. I'd like that. 6 days later, Claire was released from the hospital. The news was everywhere. Billionaire CEO survives assassination attempt. Ex-husband arrested for conspiracy to commit murder. Nexus Corporation stock in free fall. But there was still one more threat to handle. The surgeon appeared on day 7. Daniel was outside Claire's temporary safe house when he got the call. Unknown number. Read. You cost me $30 million. The surgeon's voice. That's the biggest payday I've ever lost. You should have killed me when you had the chance. I know, but I'm going to correct that mistake. St. Mary's Church. Midnight. Come alone or I start killing random civilians until you show up. The line went dead. St. Mary's was an old church in downtown Chicago. Beautiful stained glass windows, vaulted ceilings, the kind of place people got married. Daniel told Claire what was happening. You can't go, she said. It's a trap. I know, but he'll keep killing until I do. Then we all go, you and your team. He said come alone. And you believed him. Claire grabbed her phone. I'm calling the police. No, the surgeon works fast. By the time they get there, people will be dead. I need to go now. Then I'm going with you. Claire, no arguments. You saved my life. Now I'm returning the favor. In the end, they all went. Daniel, Claire, Mitch, Tommy, James, Marcus, and Katya. Even Mrs. Chen insisted on coming, said she'd lived 84 years and wasn't afraid of some man with a knife. They arrived at St. Mary's at 11:30. The church was dark except for candles, and sitting in the front pew waiting was the surgeon. He wasn't alone. He had 12 men with him, all armed, all professionals. I said come alone, Reed. You said come or civilians die. I came. I didn't promise to be alone. The surgeon smiled. Fair enough. I respect that. So here's the new deal. You and your friends versus me and mine. Last team standing wins. The losers die, right here in God's house. There are civilians in this church, Daniel said. Let them leave first. There are no civilians, just us. The surgeon stood up. I cleared the building an hour ago. It's just killers here, so let's see who's better at it. The surgeon's men spread out. Daniel's team did the same. They faced each other across the pews. 13 against 7, Tommy said. Those are terrible odds. For them, Mitch replied. The fight started when the surgeon drew his gun. What happened next was chaos. Gunfire and screams and the sound of stained glass shattering. Daniel moved on instinct, firing, reloading, firing again. Mitch found a position in the choir loft, started taking out targets with surgical precision. Tommy used the pews as cover, methodical and deadly. Marcus fought hand to hand with two of the surgeon's men, took them both down. James threw flashbangs, disoriented the enemy, picked them off one by one. Even Katya fought using a broken piece of wood like a club. And Claire grabbed a candlestick and swung it at anyone who got close to Sophia and Lily, who were hiding in the confessional with Maria and Mrs. Chen. The surgeon came for Daniel. They fought in the center aisle, brutal and desperate. The surgeon was good, but Daniel was fighting for more than just survival. He was fighting for Lily, for Claire, for all of them. You can't win. The surgeon gasped, blood on his lips. Even if you kill me, there will be others. You're marked Reed. You'll never be safe. Maybe not, but I'll die knowing I protected the people I love. Can you say the same? Daniel drove his knife into the surgeon's chest. The man looked surprised, like he'd never considered he could actually die. He fell. The rest of the surgeon's men saw their leader go down and lost heart. Some ran, some surrendered. Within minutes, it was over. Daniel stood there in the ruined church, breathing hard, surrounded by bodies and broken glass and smoke. "Is everyone okay?" he called out. "We're okay." Lily's voice from the confessional. "Daddy, can we come out now?" "Yeah, baby, it's over." The girls came out. Sophia and Lily held hands, both scared but unharmed. Maria was praying in Spanish again. Mrs. Chen looked at the carnage and said, "My goodness." Claire found Daniel, threw her arms around him. "We're alive. We're actually alive." "Yeah, we are." Police sirens outside. The FBI would have questions. So would Homeland Security. But right now, standing in that destroyed church with the people he'd fought beside, Daniel felt something he hadn't felt in 5 years. Peace. The aftermath took weeks. Richard Donovan was charged with 17 counts, including attempted murder, conspiracy, corporate espionage, and fraud. His trial was scheduled for next year, but the evidence was so overwhelming that his lawyers were already negotiating a plea deal. David Chen, turned state's witness, got a reduced sentence in exchange for testimony. The fake Sarah Kim disappeared into the legal system, facing charges of identity theft and accessory to attempted murder. Nexus Corporation collapsed. Stock went to zero. The board resigned. Claire bought the company's assets for pennies on the dollar and dismantled it piece by piece. Project Titan stayed destroyed. Claire made sure of it. Burned every backup, deleted every file, destroyed every server. The world was better off without it. And 6 weeks after that night in the church, Daniel Reed and Claire Donovan got married. Not in some fancy venue. Right there in St. Mary's Church. The same church where they'd fought for their lives, where Daniel had killed the surgeon, where everything had ended and somehow also begun. The church was still being repaired. Workers were replacing the stained glass windows, the smell of fresh paint mixed with incense. But it felt right somehow, getting married in a place that had been broken and was slowly being made whole again. Marcus walked Claire down the aisle because her father had disowned her when she refused to sell Donovan Technologies. Mitch was maid of honor. Tommy was best man. James and Katya stood as witnesses. Sophia and Lily were flower girls, giggling as they scattered petals, already acting like sisters. Mrs. Chen sat in the front row crying happy tears. Maria sat beside her rosary in her hands, thanking God for miracles. The ceremony was short, no fancy vows, Just simple promises to love, to protect, to stay. When the priest said, "You may kiss the bride," Daniel kissed Claire in a church that smelled like smoke and paint and hope. Outside, police cars were still parked. Evidence tape still marked where bodies had fallen. Reporters shouted questions that Daniel ignored. They drove away into Daniel's old Honda, just married their daughters in the back seat, arguing about what movie to watch later. "This is crazy," Claire said, looking at the simple gold band on her finger. "We barely know each other." "We know enough," Daniel replied. "We know we'll fight for each other. We know we'll protect our kids. We know we survived hell and came out together. That's more than most people who've known each other for years." "Fair point." Claire leaned her head on his shoulder. "So what now? Honeymoon in Hawaii?" "Can't. Someone needs to testify at Richard's trial next month, and we need to keep security tight until we're sure there are no more contractors coming." "So romantic." "I'm a romantic guy." They drove to Wisconsin, to a cabin Claire owned that nobody knew about, deep in the woods, snow already falling even though it was only October. For 6 weeks they hid there. Daniel, Claire, Lily, Sophia, Maria, and Mrs. Chen, 6 people in a 3-bedroom cabin playing board games and watching old movies and pretending the world outside didn't exist. It was the most peace Daniel had known in years. Then on week 6, day 3, Marcus called. "Reed, I need a favor. I'm retired. I know, this is the last one, I promise. You said that last time. This time I mean it. Arms dealer in Prague, selling weapons-grade plutonium to terrorists. If we don't stop him, thousands die, maybe hundreds of thousands." Daniel closed his eyes, thought about Sarah's promise, about being one of the good ones. "When? Tomorrow, in and out, one night. You'll be home before anyone knows you're gone." Daniel looked through the window. Claire was outside with the girls building a snowman. She was laughing, really laughing. He hadn't known she could laugh like that. "I can't do this alone," Daniel said. "I know, that's why I'm sending backup." "Who? You'll see." The next night, Daniel kissed his sleeping daughter goodbye, told Claire he had to go handle something. "What kind of something?" she asked. "The kind that keeps other people's daughters safe." Claire studied his face. "You're going on a mission?" "Yeah, alone. Marcus is sending backup." "Good." Claire kissed him. "Come back to me. Always." Daniel drove to the airfield Marcus had specified. A private jet was waiting. He walked up the stairs expecting to see Marcus, or maybe one of the old team. Instead, Claire was sitting there, wearing tactical gear, cleaning a gun. "What are you doing here?" Daniel asked. "Marcus called me too, said you needed a partner. Said it was a 2-person job." Claire smiled. "And I've always wanted to see Prague. This isn't a vacation. This is dangerous." So was running Donovan Technologies. So was raising a daughter alone. So was everything we've been through. Claire stood up. "I'm not some helpless CEO anymore, Daniel. You taught me how to fight, how to survive. Now let me fight beside you." The girls are safe with Maria, Mrs. Chen, and a security team I hired. They'll be fine for 2 days. Daniel wanted to argue, wanted to send her home where it was safe, but he looked at her and saw something he recognized, the same thing he saw in the mirror every morning, a warrior, someone who'd been through fire and come out stronger. "Okay," he said, "partners. Partners." They flew to Prague, infiltrated the arms dealer's compound. It went bad almost immediately. Guards everywhere, alarms blaring, but they fought through it together, Claire covering his back, Daniel covering hers. When it was over, when the plutonium was secured, and the arms dealer was in custody, and they were flying home, Daniel realized something. He wasn't alone anymore. For 5 years, he'd carried everything by himself. The weight of his past, the responsibility for Lily, the crushing loneliness of being someone who couldn't connect with normal people because he'd done things they couldn't understand. But Claire understood. She'd lived it now. She'd fought beside him, Sam. She'd killed when she had to. She'd done what needed doing to protect the people she loved. They landed in Wisconsin at dawn, drove back to the cabin, walked inside to find Lily and Sophia making pancakes with Mrs. Chen, getting flour everywhere, laughing. "Daddy," Lily ran to him. "Mommy," Sophia ran to Claire. And just like that, they were a family. Not a perfect family. Daniel still had nightmares. Claire still woke up sometimes checking her phone for threats that weren't there. The girls still had moments where they remembered their dead mother Claire's ex-husband, the violence they'd witnessed. But they had each other. That evening, after the girls were asleep, Daniel and Claire sat on the porch, watching snow fall. "Do you think it's really over?" Claire asked. "The danger, the violence, all of it?" "No," Daniel said honestly. "There will always be threats, always people who want what we have or want to hurt us. But we're ready for it now. We know how to fight. We know how to survive." "And we're not alone," Claire added. "We're not alone." They sat there in the quiet, two broken people who'd found each other in the worst possible way and somehow built something beautiful from the wreckage. Daniel Reed, the ghost of Blackwater, the man with 37 kills, had finally found what he'd been searching for since Sarah died. Home, not a place, not a building, but people, a family, a purpose. He'd spent 5 years trying to forget who he was, trying to bury the warrior and be normal. But maybe normal wasn't the point. Maybe the point was being who you were meant to be. A protector, a father, a husband, a man who did terrible things in the dark so others could sleep safely at night. "What are you thinking about?" Claire asked. "How lucky I am," Daniel said. "Lucky that you walked into that café. Lucky that I decided to help. Lucky that we survived." "Luck had nothing to do with it. You made choices. Good choices, brave choices." Claire took his hand. "You saved me. You saved Sophia. You saved everyone. We saved each other. Yeah, we did." Inside the cabin, someone started crying, probably Lily having a nightmare. Daniel started to get up, but Claire stopped him. "I'll go," she said. "You've been saving people all day. Let me take this one." She went inside. Daniel heard her soft voice, soothing, comforting. Heard Lily's crying stop. Heard her say, "Is that my new mommy?" Heard Claire say, "If you want me to be." Heard Lily say, "I want you to be." Daniel Reed sat on that porch in the Wisconsin woods and cried. Not from sadness, from relief, from gratitude, from the overwhelming knowledge that after everything he'd lost, everything he'd done, everything he'd survived, he'd been given a second chance, and this time he wasn't going to waste it.